Hey guys, I know it's been a little bit and I haven't really posted much here lately, but Brittany the Sunshine State Witch has created a challenge for the month of November that I know I am very late getting into, but I'm looking at it and several of these different prompts are calling to me, so I am gonna just kind of pick and do those. The first one that really kind of caught my eye was light. And I think I'm gonna do this one and skip down to its opposite as well in this video, because light and darkness, they play like you cannot have one without the other. Without the light, you do not know what dark is. Without dark, you do not know what light is. Light and dark in a certain combination create shadow, and as witches and magical practitioners, we a lot of us know shadow. A lot of us have looked into ourselves, our spiritual practices, our emotional states, and examined our shadows. That is a big, heavy work. But in nature, light illuminates it. Well, light and illuminate mean pretty much the same thing now that I think about it, but light helps everything come into focus. You can see further. The way the light will come in through the trees, it can add a majestic aura to things. You're walking in the woods, and the light just dappling through the tree canopy. Sometimes you'll just come up to a place that'll give you pause. And it's just beautiful and serene, and it can pull you out of the time and headspace that you were in currently. Maybe you went into the forest for a specific reason. And now I guess I'm doing in the forest as well. But that interplay of light and shadow and the trees, it is magical. It's nature at its just something that resonates with me. You can come in a not so good mood and just start walking paths through the trees, listening to the birds and nature, seeing maybe a rabbit or a deer, or occasionally an owl. Owls are nocturnal creatures. To see one, it is very, very rare. But I have an experience from childhood that, looking back at it, is still powerful to me. Like, it puts me right back into being like a 8 or 9 year old boy, walking with some family friends, coming through the trees to a pond, and there's a bat feeder or a bat house elevated up in the middle of the pond, and there's an owl sitting on it, just sitting there looking, watching. It's kind of in that stages of twilight. He's just sitting there watching. The family friend was very good at imitating animal calls, bird calls. He's a hunter. So he calls to the owl. The owl hoots back, kind of ruffles his feathers and moves his wings a little bit, but sits there just watching. It's like he sees you. Not just the flesh and bone, but what's inside here too. He eventually takes off after a couple of minutes. We had stopped what we were doing and just watched. At the time, I did not understand how rare, how incredible that was to cross the paths of an owl. And eventually, they took off, and we continued back on our journey to get back to camp. But there are beauties revealed in both light and in darkness. Light can allow you to examine things in a clarity that sometimes we struggle to catch, but darkness does as well. On the planet Earth, we cannot see the other stars across the universe without the cover of darkness. You sit out there around a fire, the flames crackling merrily over the wood, maybe a thin column of smoke rising into the sky. You look up, and the whole blanket of diamonds just strewn across the sky. It's breathtaking. Just so much vastness, so much connection to what has gone before and the possibility of what could be out there. It's infinite potential, and yet to look out across that vast field, it's humbling. And sometimes darkness will shine its beauty, like in those instances, connect you, like in that instance, but it can also scare. Genetically, we're wired to be more paranoid when the sun goes down. The predators start to stalk the earth. Wolves were some of the stalking big cats were a threat to us. Some regions of the world, deadly snakes are more active at night. So we've always kind of associated darkness with potential trouble, fear. Shadows can scare us if they are deep enough. Looking in the mirror, like that darkness when everything goes quiet, nothing's moving. Some people, heck, we will sit there and start to think. And sometimes we start to think about ourselves, examining ourselves. And sometimes what we see scares us. I'm not gonna lie and say that doesn't happen, because it does. But what I have learned over time, I'm almost 40 years old, and there's a lot of time where you have to sit there and examine what you're doing. Does it fit you? Are you doing good for the people you love? Are you doing good for yourself? What issues do you have, and how are they affecting you? How are they affecting the people around you? That's working with shadow. That's looking at trauma. And it can be a long road through a dark tunnel. A dark, dense wood in the darkness. But over time, with the right support, the right treatment, if needed, you will get through that tunnel, through that forest, and you will see before you a beautifully lit clearing, peaceful, calm, beautiful. Do not run from the darkness, but do not despair of never finding the light either. We can get through. It's a bravery and a strength. There's a beauty in all of it. The light, the dark, the woods, both the dappled sunlight and the dark paths through the trees in the night. It's just about finding a right balance for us. thank you very much, Brittany, for doing this tag. I've loved watching everyone else's videos, and I'll see you next time.